Hi, welcome. It's so lovely to be here with all of you. Let's see who is here. Sandy from Orange County. Let's see, let me go up a little bit. We have Carl, Sarah from Toronto. Yeah, so Carl's from windy South Wales. We've had a lot of, in LA, we don't get a lot of weather. We've actually had a lot of rain lately. So we can relate a little bit. And let's see, we have Artely from Bermuda. That's so fun. Welcome. How is it there? Ellie from sunny and cold New York. At least it's sunny. Let's see, we have Carla from Utah. Sandy, of course. Ted from Sweden. It's been a wonderful, cold, and sunny day here. Sun. Oh, yay. Nora, Wanda, Eileen. Beautiful. Welcome. Welcome. Oh, wow. We are reaching the end of 2021. I really can't believe it. I was just reflecting the other day about how 2020 felt like the longest year of my life, as I'm sure some of you can relate. And 2021 felt like the fastest. I really can't quite explain it, but it just, my mind is having a hard time even wrapping around the fact that it's almost over in just days. And so let's just take that in for a moment. That I saw some meme that was like, looking forward to 2022 until they realized it was 2022. Like, also this idea that we're still in it. And we're still in it. Oh, sorry. I don't know how to turn those off. Let me see if I can do my notifications. Yeah, I don't know. So hopefully this is not my main computer. So hopefully they don't keep coming. But let's just take a moment to really slow down and reflect on this past year, and that we are still dealing with this pandemic and the different variants. And yet it's also not the same as when it began. And we are navigating this ever-changing world and moment to moment, and having to continuously pivot and endure this chronic challenge. And I deeply believe there will be a light at the end of this tunnel, and we are for all forever changed. And yet we're still in it. And so how do we greet ourselves, acknowledge ourselves, honor where we're at, and give ourselves what we need? And especially as we begin to close this chapter and begin a new one. And one of the things that I've always thought like New Year's Eve parties are overrated and fairly lame for the most part. But the thing that I love about it is just the ritual, not the expectation that we're going to set these goals for ourselves and we're going to meet all these goals, but more that it's an invitation to slow down and go inward and actually listen and reflect on how this year has been, how we have shown up, what we've had to go through, the ways that we have traversed and pulled ourselves up and been strong and are still here in spite all the odds. And then to look forward and really check in and see, how do I want this next year to go? How do I want to show up in this next year? And maybe that means like the old, classic examples of goals that we think of in New Year's resolutions. If I want to lose weight and I want to, travel more, Omicron and all the variants depending, or I want to, connect more, whatever it is, it's important to concretize it and get into the details, but it's also important to really connect to the spirit of it, because the truth and how it shows up is going to have many forms. And my intention for this next year is to have more ease, to show up with more ease and presence and love. And that's love for myself, first and foremost, for my partner, for my kids, for my friends, for my family, and truthfully, for everyone that I come in contact with, to really try to come as best as I can from a loving heart, because I deeply believe we are all doing the best that we can. And so in just a moment, I'm going to read a poem. I'll read it to start, and then I'll read it to finish. But before I do that, I just want to invite you just to take a moment to reflect, to just get a sense of this past year and looking in to this next year. And this is a poem, excuse me, by John O'Donohue. Binanach, a blessing for the new year. On the day when the weight deadens on your shoulders and you stumble, may the clay dance to balance you. And when your eyes freeze behind the gray window and the ghost of lost gets into you, may a flock of colors, indigo, red, green, and azure blue, come to awaken in you a meadow of delight. When the canvas frays and the currach of thought and a stain of ocean blackens beneath you, may there come across the waters a path of yellow moonlight to bring you safely home. May the nourishment of earth be yours. May the clarity of light be yours. May the fluency of the ocean be yours. May the protection of the ancestors be yours. And so may a slow wind work these words of love around you, an invisible cloak to mind your life. And taking a deep breath in and exhaling audibly, letting these words wash over you. And if you feel so moved, I invite you to close your eyes and just letting your body and your mind and your heart begin to settle. So often the holidays can shake us up, can trigger us, can make us go at a warped speed. And so making your only goal this morning be to meet yourself exactly as you are, whether it be in grief, in love, in hurt, in neutrality, in joyousness, in confusion, or some variation of all of it. Opening your own heart and welcoming in your full being exactly as you are. And as you breathe in, inviting the qualities that you need and want just a little bit more of: strength, ease, grace, courage, patience, love, understanding. And as you exhale, inviting yourself to release, even if just a little bit, qualities that are no longer serving you: judgment, hatred, rage. All of these qualities are ways of your beautiful being trying to protect itself, but are often misguided and are shielding the true feelings underneath. And so honoring these big, bold, protective ways that we have, they serve us and protect us. And inviting in a more nuanced ability, tapping into the part of us that can deeply connect to discernment and equanimity, that can both feel things deeply but not act from a place of being hijacked by the feelings. Our wise self. Sometimes this wise self can feel hard to connect to. Our ego, hurt feelings, our attachment to the story, expectations of how we think things should be, and all those parts of ourselves and ways of being are so well intended. And I invite you each to hold those parts of you with deep love and compassion. And often these ways of being we created and established when we were children to help us deal with, navigate, protect ourselves from all the struggles that we each have endured in our own ways. And so now, fully inhabiting our grown up selves, and even inviting our older, wiser self to be fully present and to help guide us as we move through the challenges and triumphs and joys of this next year and of each moment. And if you feel so moved, placing your hand somewhere on your body that feels loving, supportive, nourishing, trusting your own knowing as to where that is. And knowing that life will always provide ways to distract you, like noises from a computer or unexpected twists and turns. And that is the journey. Our path is not to create a life without those, but rather to cultivate a sense of ease and flexibility within us so that we can greet and meet each of these irritations, frustrations, challenges, heartaches with presence and with wisdom and with heart. And checking in with your body and seeing if there's any parts that you can invite to soften. Your brow, your jaw, your shoulders, your chest, your belly, arms and legs, your whole being. Softening into and opening up to this precious moment. And if your mind has wandered, invite it back into your heart, into your body. Tapping into the deep knowing that you have done and you are doing the absolute best that you can. You are enough. Breathing in that which you want and need more of. Ease, love, compassion, patience, understanding, self-care, self-love. And breathing out and releasing that which no longer serves you. Vinanach, A Blessing for the New Year by John O'Donohue. On the day when the weight deadens on your shoulders and you stumble, May the clay dance to balance you. And when your eyes freeze behind the gray window and the ghost of lost gets into you, may a flock of colors, indigo, red, green, and azure blue, come to awaken in you a meadow of delight. When the canvas frays in the currach of thought and a stain of ocean blackens beneath you, may there come across the waters a path of yellow moonlight to bring you safely home. May the nourishment of the earth be yours. May the clarity of light be yours. May the fluency of the ocean be yours. May the protection of the ancestors be yours. And so may a slow wind work these words of love around you, an invisible cloak to mind your life. And breathing in all of those words and heart and all of the beings that have gathered today, each shining our light from within towards each other and holding each other in our grace and our presence. Breathing all of that in and letting out one final big exhale. And bringing this to a close, letting the light seep back in if your eyes were closed. Letting your body move and stretch in any way it so desires. And letting this be your invitation to walk more gently, softly, more peacefully, and with more open-hearted ease into the end of this year and into the beginning of the next. And I invite you to share any words or intentions or how you're feeling with all of us. It's always so sweet to connect in that way. And I forgot to introduce myself. I'm Stefanie Goldstein, one of the co-founders of the Center for Mindful Living. And we love being here with you each week. And as I posted in the beginning, we graciously accept donations. If this or any of these have touched you, any amount is appreciated, and it goes towards our teachers and our programs and enables us to always be able to have our doors open. And so truly any amount is helpful. And I'm just going to post those links once more. And those of you that are posting, just one moment, I'm going to connect with you so you can donate on PayPal or Venmo. And let's see, you are all so very welcome. And I know I love John O'Donohue and that poem. It's just so touching. And we got this as, oh yes, Gretchen says, thank you, Stefanie. Loved the dog and the child's voice. And it was a fullness of life today. We had the computer sounds, people walking next to our garage/office, and it was perfect. There were moments I experienced my own frustration, and then I said, okay, but it's like this. And then I was able to shift in my own heart and in my own mind. And so that's the work, right? That's really it. And so thank you all. Wishing you a beautiful, blessed, healthy new year, and healthy of mind, of body, of spirit, of culture, of society, for all of us, truly. May it be so.